The next morning, after Papa's strange visit, I woke up early. The red cloth was still lying neatly folded at the foot of my bed. I didn't even want to touch it. It looked innocent, but something about it made my chest tight. When I came out of my room, the compound was quiet. The cock had crowed 3 times, and the sun was just touching the tops of the palm trees. Mama was at the fire, roasting yam for breakfast. Papa was sitting alone under the udala tree, looking at the sky. I carried water to wash my face and watched him from afar. His lips were moving, but no sound came out. It was as if he was talking to someone I could not see. "Good morning, Papa," I said softly. He turned and smiled a little. "Good morning, my eyes. Did you sleep well?" "Yes, Papa," I lied. "I slept well." He nodded and went back to looking at the sky. The red cloth thing was still on my mind, but I didn't want to make Mama angry again. Later that day, I went with my brothers to the farm. The soil was wet from last night's rain. As we planted cassava, I asked Chijioke, my eldest brother, "Do you notice Papa behaving somehow these days?" He stopped digging and looked around. "Keep your voice low. Mama says we should not talk about it in the open. People in the village are already gossiping." "Gossiping about what?" "That Papa's mind is not strong again," he said sadly. "Some say he has been hearing voices. Some say it is Papa's late father that is troubling him." I looked at the earthworm crawling on the wet soil and whispered, "But he comes to my room every night." Chijioke's eyes grew wide. "Every night? With that red cloth?" "Yes." He threw his hoe on the ground and sighed. That cloth again. I remember seeing it when Grandpapa died. They used it to cover his shrine before they buried him. I heard Papa saying that the cloth must never be lost. Maybe he is afraid something bad will happen if it goes missing. "Something bad like what?" I asked. He shrugged. "Who knows? These things belong to the old people. They say that red cloth was part of a promise made many years ago, a promise that was never fulfilled." When we returned home that evening, the sky was red like fire, and the wind carried the smell of rain. Papa was not in the compound. Mama said he had gone to visit Dibia Okoro. My heart jumped. Maybe he finally went for help. He came back after sunset, carrying a small calabash and some white chalk. His face looked calm, almost peaceful. He went straight into his hut and didn't speak to anyone until morning. But that peace did not last long. 3 nights later, I woke again to that familiar creak of the door. I sat up even before I saw him. The moonlight fell through the bamboo window, and Papa's, the river's demand. By dawn, the red cloth felt heavier than before, as if the weight of her father's spirit had sunk into its threads. Obiageli's mother called her to pound yam for breakfast, but the girl's mind was elsewhere. The whisper of the river was already calling. When night fell again, Obiageli wrapped the red cloth around her arm and walked toward Ogugu River, where no one dared to go after dark. Fireflies guided her path like tiny ancestors, flickering in the mist. At the riverbank, she placed a calabash on the water, yam, palm oil, and a single white kola nut, the offering her father had once promised. The river was silent at first. Then a ripple moved across the surface, though no wind blew. "Daughter of the one who broke faith," a deep voice said from the water. "Do you bring what is owed?" Obiageli's throat tightened. "I do, for my father and for peace." The river stirred. A figure rose from its depths, a woman of water and moonlight, her hair flowing like currents, her eyes cold as stones from the deep. She looked at the red cloth and sighed. "The debt is old, but the ancestors remember. Will you carry his burden, child?" Obiageli trembled. "If it will let him rest, I will." The goddess reached out, her fingers rippling like liquid glass. She took the red cloth, dipped it into the water, and when she lifted it again, it was white, cleansed of blood and sorrow. "His spirit is free," the goddess said. "But know this, every promise binds more than one soul. Yours is now tied to the river. Should the people ever forget their offerings again, it is you the river will call." The water stilled. The goddess was gone. Only the white cloth remained, glowing softly in the moonlight. Obiageli stood alone, the river murmuring at her feet. She understood now. Her father's sin had become her covenant. And somewhere beyond the veil of the living, her father's voice finally whispered, "Thank you, my daughter.